My name is Chuck, and this is my xeriscaping escapades. Today we're going to talk about seed propagation, or raising from seeds. Well, the first step obviously is to get the seeds. And for that we would need some spent flowers. I have a few candidates here. This pastel doesn't look spent yet, it still looks fresh. This raindrops, as you can see, there are some dry flowers at the end. So these are potential candidates for seed propagation. There might be a few more here. I'm looking at this Colibra. It looks dry but not yet dry enough. How about here? Still looks fresh. Yeah, this curls. There are some dry ones here. This one, the bunch here. Yeah, so we could use these. I also have this Blondie. It looks like lots of them are dry already. The lower flowers are dry, quite crispy. So I think I might go ahead and just remove the whole stalk. To maintain the compact rosette, because the flower stalks push them out, I have to cut this further in. So I'll go as low as I can go and just snip it off. I'm also looking at my terminal afterglow specimen. This one is definitely dry. So is this one. So is this one. Yeah, there's quite a few here, so I might do this tutorial using this afterglow instead. I'm going to take a few of the dry flowers. This one. And this one. Maybe this one as well. And this one. Just take 4. So now I have 4 dry flowers.
When collecting seeds, I usually just have a piece of paper at hand and a small box as this one, because it's easier to catch the seeds when you have such items with you. In any case, just make do with what you have. Alright, so this is how I would start. First I would take the flower, I'll peel off the sepals and all the petals, and eventually make my way towards the seed pods. This is how it would look like. Alright, let's just get this junk out of the way. Alright. Once you break it off, you'll see lots of tiny specks that look like dust. Make sure not to chuck them away, as those are actually the seeds. If you've got them dry enough, you'll find it's also a lot easier to tease them out of the pods, as they are not moist enough to clump or stick somewhere. I don't think they're that delicate, so I would usually use my fingers to rub them off of the pods. I'll just have to repeat on the other flowers. So there you have it. From just 4 flowers, we have hundreds if not thousands of seeds. Let's get ready to work. So the next step is to prepare your soil mix. For that, I would need a few things. First one being some actual soil. So I just get a cheap bag of potting mix that I can get from hardware stores here. And next I would need some coarse sand. For that, I just pick up what they call propagating sand here. It's coarse graded, it's not fine, so it guarantees a well-draining mix. Alright, the next thing. The recommended ratio I was told was 1:4. 1 part of propagating sand or coarse sand to 4 parts of soil. But first, I have to ensure that all of the particles are roughly the same size. This is important as it makes the medium more or less even in texture. This would be beneficial to the seeds. But in order to be able to do that, I'm going to use this tray as a sieve. As you can see, there are some holes there. They should be enough to filter out the large particles. And voila! We now have our base soil and we can now prepare our mix. As you recall, we would need to combine 4 parts of this soil to 1 part of coarse sand. And I'm going to use this small pot of my bases because I don't have any cups here. Alright, let's get on to it. Thing to note is that your mix should be dry enough for the stratification step. If your mix is damp, just leave it out for a day or so until it dries out. I've also got my punnet ready and I'm going to fill it up. The next step is sowing the seeds. I've got them all on this piece of paper, so all I need to do next is to sprinkle them all over the soil, like so. I haven't figured out yet how crowded I should make them. I generally just placed more than I need for now. This might be too much, so we'll see. Now that the seeds are in, I'll need to sprinkle some fine sand on them. I would not want any of the larger sand particles to overwhelm the seeds, so I'm going to use a sieve for this. This should be enough. As you can see, I have a very thin layer of sand. It would be very hard to tell where the seeds are because they blend in so well with the sand. This is just a small point, but probably a very important step, and that is to label your specimens. So as you can see, got the name written here, as well as the date of sow, which is today, the 9th of May. And this is an afterglow. I need this piece of information so I know when to wait until I start watering them. I intend this to stratify for 3 weeks, and today is the 9th, so that means I have to wait until the 30th of May. And just to demo the watering technique, I'm going to pick one of these trays. This is a Domingo sowed the 19th of April. What I have prepared is a bucket half filled with water. I'm just going to dip this one in. I usually stop when I see water coming off of the sides, but this one might be too drenched already. You don't have to drench the whole thing. You just need to keep it moist. So just some signs of water at the edges would be enough. It's dripping now. I'm going to put it back into the tray until it dries out again. There you go. As you can see, there are some sprouts here. I hope these are actual plants and not just weeds. The label here says Barbillion. Better be a Barbillion.
Note about damping off. I'm actually not yet sure how it looks like, but it's a fungal disease which affects moist sprouts. So the advice I was given was to look for a solution which has Mancozeb, MANCOZEB, as the active ingredient. And I found this Mancozeb Plus. It's a fungicide and miticide. So this is a concentrated solution, and I'll have to dilute this. And hopefully I don't have to use this, but I got it just in case. It's better to be prepared anyway. Remember the stalk I got from the Blondie earlier? It still has some leaves here. Some of the leaves look, I don't know, rotting already. Some of the lower ones are looking better. So you could pick those off and use them for propagation. That is what I've done here. Because usually the frilly types do not propagate from leaves. But you might have a chance when you use the leaves from the flower stalks. So never let them go to waste.